Hello?
Hello, John. I'm with marketing here at Big Pharma Medical Mart.
And who are you with again?
Not important. We'd like to get you on a statin right away.
And why would I want to do that?
Everybody's taking them. Lipitor is the highest selling drug of all time. It has to be good.
Yeah, I know it's a huge gravy train, but...
We feel it's very important that you be frightened of cholesterol.
Yeah, you're not a subscriber to my channel, are you? Sadly, in an honest world, this hypothetical scenario could have been prevented. And the caller is right. Lipitor is the highest selling drug of all time. Nearly $100 billion in sales. That's $100,000 million. Very likely your doctor has been touting the LDL cholesterol as bad cholesterol for years. This is the subset of cholesterol that statin drugs specifically target. LDL, low density lipoprotein. You've probably seen it on your blood work. So I took some pushback a couple years ago when I posted my video on big medicines and big pharma's insistence on patients drugging their cholesterol numbers down. But wait, what's this? A recent study concludes that LDL cholesterol is virtually useless as a predictor of cardiac risk. So this study from March 2024 BMJ Open Journal regarding LDL cholesterol and mortality. Firstly, the overall belief that lower LDL is always better. Ready for this now? Hold on to your hats. In terms of absolute risk, lowering LDL cholesterol has almost no effect on heart disease or all-cause mortality. The researchers in this study used data from the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center on 178,000 adults aged 50 to 89 years. None had a history of heart disease, none were diabetic, none were on cholesterol-lowering medication. Study design was simple. Gather cholesterol measurements, total cholesterol, HDL, LDL, triglycerides, track deaths over a decade, and determine any relationship between LDL and long-term mortality. Now remember, LDL is constantly vilified as the bad cholesterol. Most medical sources look for a range between 55 and 100 milligrams per deciliter. Anything outside that, they want to instantly drug you back into that range. Now, LDL levels were all over the place in this study, from a low of about 30 milligrams per deciliter all the way up over 190. And guess what? There was no independent association at all between low LDL and long-term mortality. In fact, higher was better than lower. The lowest risk was in the 100 to 190 milligrams per deciliter range. This is an absolutely huge statement. It completely contradicts the prevailing cholesterol hypothesis, and it validates a bunch of studies concluding much the same. For instance, a March 2012 Swedish study in journal Neurology concluded that high LDL cholesterol is actually protective in older adults against dementia and Alzheimer's. Again, this goes completely counter to everything you've been fed by Big Pharma and the big medical machine for the past 50 years. Believe it or not, studies of centenarians consistently demonstrate that the longest living populations are those with the highest levels of cholesterol, total and LDL. And then there's this. Do you realize that the big life insurance companies do not even consider LDL in their underwriting policies? That's right. They've determined that LDL has almost no predictive value at all for them. So what's their number one consideration then? Total cholesterol divided by HDL. That's the key value. The sweet spot seems to be between about 3 and 4. Example, total cholesterol of 200, HDL 50, that's 4. Total cholesterol of 200 divided by an HDL of, say, 66, that's 3. That's the sweet spot range. The point is, it's the ratio that's important, not the absolute numbers. So with all this in mind then, it begs the question, why would reducing cholesterol via medication, a treatment at best ineffective, at worst possibly harmful, be continuously pursued? I wonder. Oh, I almost forgot. Did I mention that Lipitor is the highest selling drug of all time? So I think the takeaway message here, number one, is low LDL is not protective against cardiovascular disease. So in light of the continuing research, it would seem that willy-nilly prescribing of statin drugs wouldn't necessarily make rational sense as a health strategy, would it? And mind you, 47 million Americans take a statin every day. And takeaway number two, HDL is protective against cardiovascular disease, and high HDL levels are earned through exercise, lifestyle, clean anti-inflammatory diet. And of course, we know what that means: reduced refined carbohydrates, gluten, sugar, etc. Increased good quality fats, fish oil, and so forth. Moderate protein, good exercise, and sleep. See you in the next one. Look, I enjoy making vids that are informative and sprinkled with a little fun. But clearly, heart disease is no joke. It's the leading cause of death in America, and it's overwhelmingly preventable. I hope you'll go to the description and check out two vids I'll link. I want you to watch them in order. First, you'll learn one incredibly disingenuous method that pharma companies use all the time with their data to deceive you. Once you see this and understand it, you'll never look at any of their advertising the same way. And after that, I want you to watch my statin video from 2022. Stay healthy. Dr. J.